So here's one of the section in paper 2. The section what you need to work very hard on. It's one of the section that is giving a lot of learners problems out there. So let's go and look at it and see how we supposed to go about it. Okay, we start here. 5.1. They say we should determine the value of the following expression, as we can see there. What we can figure out here is that, okay, we've got the expression with two terms, and the expression with two terms, you've got the same angle here, which is x plus 20, but having x plus 65, having x plus 65, we need to have something like this first. There, you need to remember we need to have something like this: sine x cos y minus sine x sine y. We need to have this situation, and we don't have it yet. What we have here, as you can see, we've got a b, we've got c a, meaning that we need to change this one. Changing this one, it's whereby we change x plus 245. We need to change it so that we can have the very same angles. This is b, this is b, this is b. So we need to change this one here. Let's do so now. We're going to say, okay, this will be cos of x plus 65 cos of x plus 20 minus sine of let's have 180 plus x plus 65. Let's remember 180 plus 65 will be 245. That will be 245. Okay, and lastly there we're going to have our sine x plus 20. So this will give us cos of x plus 65, going to have cos of x plus 20 minus then 180 plus theta, 180 plus theta, that should be minus sine of theta. That should be minus sine of theta. So meaning that here we're going to have negative sine x plus 65. Sine x plus 20. Okay, then from there we're still going to have cos of x plus 65 cos x plus 20 plus sine x plus 65 sine x plus 20. So here you're going to apply the compound rule of cos. That will be cos of x plus 65 minus into x plus 20 and this, you're going to have cos of x, will take away x, 65 minus 20, that will be 45, and at last the answer is square root 2 over 2. That will be the answer, square root 2 over 2. So you really have to remember the compound rules here, how to apply them, and in that if you remember that, then you won't have a problem here. Okay, we shall proceed on to the next question soon. Okay, 5.2, we need to solve for x. Given the equation there, it's a trig equation where x should be between negative 180 and 180. Now what we should do, we need to make sure that we need to convert cos 2x, applying the double angle of cos. We need to convert cos to x. So this is what we're going to have. We're going to have sine x equals to 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Then from there we can write this in standard form as 2 sine squared x plus sine x minus 1 equals to 0. Then we can factorize here 2 sine x sine x there. We're going to have 1 and 1, so we can have plus 1 there, so that when you multiply here you get 2 sine x minus sine x. That will be sine x. Okay, right. So these are the factors. We're going to have sine x equals to 1 over 2, or sine x equals to negative 1. Then from there we're going to say, okay, for this first one here, we can have the ref angle as second function sine 0,5, which is half, and this will give us 30 degrees. And on this one we can have ref angle equals to second function positive 1. We ignore that negative only there to direct you which quadrant should you play within. Okay, this will be 90, this will be 90 degrees. Going back to this first one, we'll say where sine is positive, it's quadrant number 1, of which we're going to have 30. We're going to have x equals to 30 plus 360. x 360 k element of integer. That's for the first quadrant. And the quadrant number 2, we're going to have x equals 180 minus 30. That's quadrant number 2. We're going to say 150 plus 360k element of integer. Let's move on to the second one there, where sign is negative. That should be quadrant number 3. X will be equals to 180 plus 90. That will be 270 plus 360k element of integer. So quadrant number 4, we're going to have 360 minus 90 as well. So 360 minus 90. So that will be 270. That will be 270, meaning that we can only have quadrant number 3 if that's the case. We can only have quadrant number 3 because 360 minus 90, that will be 270. We're going to go back to this. So it's not necessary to write quadrant number 4. It's not necessary because we're still going to get something similar. So this up to this part, we've got general solution. So we have to move on to substitute where there's k until we get the values of x between this. Okay, now let's see. Let's start with the first one. The first one I'm talking about is this one here. We're going to substitute where there's k by -1. If we do that, the answer will be -330, and -330 is it's before -180, so that's not acceptable. Now if we substitute by 0, x will be 30. 30 is acceptable because that's between -180 and 180. So if we substitute by 1, it will never work. So this one we're not going to work with it anymore. We move on to this second one. When we substitute where there's k by -1, what do we get? We get 2, -210, and -210 is before -180, so that is not acceptable. When we substitute by 0 where there's k, we get 150. We get 150, and that is acceptable. We'll take that. Okay, we'll take that. If we substitute by 1, it will never work. So let's move on to the third one there. When we substitute where there's k by -1, what are we going to have? We're going to have -90, and -90 is between -180 and 180. So we'll take that. When we substitute by 0, it will not work. By 1 won't work. So these are the answers. Let's write them nicely. We're going to write them as x. We're going to write them like this: element of -90 followed by 30, and lastly will be 150. Lastly will be 150. That's the answer. All right. That's the answer. I hope you understand there. I hope you understand there. I hope you really understand there. So we're going to move on to the next one soon, okay? On our very next batch of questions, we'll be looking at 5.3. I'm sure you can see we've got 3 questions within. We'll be working for 8 marks there. So we're going to start with the first one, which is 5.3.1. Here is 5.3.1. They say if sine of 36, if sine 36 equals to p, we need to express each of the following in terms of p. So my advice here is that firstly, before you can go and attempt the question, just go for draw the triangle here. The triangle which will explain the situation here. You've got 36 here. Sine will be opposite over hypotenuse. Then use Pythagoras, you'll get your adjacent. Use that, you'll get adjacent. So if you have 36 here, you're going to have, say, 60, 53, should be 53, you're going to 54, you're going to have 54 here. Because 54 plus 36, the answer will be 90. You need to make sure you've got complete right angle triangle there, well represented, okay? So for cos 36 will be adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent will be that will be 1 minus p squared. That will be 1 minus p squared because it's adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, this one, you just need to remember well your Pythagoras to calculate your adjacent. And the second one here, we need to find the value of cos 72. The value of cos 72. This one should realize we're talking about double angle there. Double angle, this will be as cos of 2 of 36. And that will be 1 minus 2 sine squared of 36. And as we conclude, we're going to have 1 minus 2 p squared because we're given above that sine 36 is p. So where there's sine 36, we substitute. The last one on question question 5 is this one. You've got sine 66. Sine 66, in this case, we need to apply the special angles together with the one we're given there, which is 36, meaning that we should have sine of 30 plus 36. The application of compound here should be sine of 30 cos 36 plus cos 30 sine of 36. So we have 1/2, which is sine 30. We've got square root of we've got square root of 1 minus p square plus square root 3/2 p. So we can tell that, okay, the two terms are sharing the very same denominator. You will have your 2 down there, p minus, there should be p, it should be 1 minus p square plus square root 3p. This will be the answer. This will be the answer. Alright, guys, don't forget to subscribe, leave your comment, like the video, and also share amongst your friends. We'll be moving on to question 6 very soon. Until we meet again soon, sharp.